right, so next we will have a proclamation for Sheriff Brian Martin, and Supervisor Sabatier will be reading this proclamation.
Bringing my boss with me. Punches me every time I say something stupid.
We know that some positions is definitely a family thing. Thank you for joining us here today. I'll start off before reading. I know that the sheriff comes here with his heart filled. He just did Shop with a Cop. There's no way you can leave Shop with a Cop without feeling good about what we do here in our county when we serve our communities. But the position he's in, he's had his heart in it from the very beginning. We've seen and felt the changes that he's made to this department since coming through. And I'll be blunt, we needed those changes. And thank you so much for stepping up. Thank you for taking the role of leadership as the sheriff for our community. And thank you for your service. Proclamation commending Sheriff Coroner Brian Martin for his 15 years of service to Lake County. Whereas, being a dedicated Lake County public servant came naturally to Brian Martin, as he was surrounded by examples of public service. His father, the Honorable Judge Richard Martin, his mother, retired Deputy District Attorney for Lake County. His parents' invaluable contributions to the County of Lake have set a high bar for both Brian and other community leaders. The values his parents instilled in him have been evident to everyone who has worked with Brian throughout his impressive career. Prior to starting his law enforcement career, Brian Martin joined the Army as a military police and served his country with honor for 5 years. And whereas, starting with his employment with Lake County on July 18th, 2005, Brian Martin has always been respected and well-liked by his colleagues in local law enforcement, all the way back to his early days working for the Sheriff's Department. He worked his way up to become a member of the department's command staff with the rank of lieutenant, and was eventually elected as the Sheriff Coroner of Lake County and started in that position on January 6th, 2015. And whereas, regardless of his rank or position, Brian Martin always demonstrated himself to be a dedicated public servant, reliable, hardworking, and with the highest level of integrity and ethics. He is known as being fair and even-handed. He is also known for speaking up and speaking out with honesty and sincerity on behalf of the Lake County residents he serves. And whereas Brian Martin's election as Sheriff Coroner brought ethical leadership, stability, and public trust to the Sheriff's Department at a critical time when it was urgently needed. His skills as a leader were invaluable to the county during a series of catastrophic wildfires and other emergencies that occurred during his tenure as Sheriff Coroner. Like his parents before him, Brian Martin has set a high bar of what to expect from our county Sheriff Coroner. Brian and his spouse, Crystal, both are public servants serving their communities and instilling in their children and their communities the same value of public service. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Lake does hereby commend Brian Martin for his 15 years of service to the County of Lake and to the residents of Lake County, and extends our appreciation for his dedication and hard work, and wish him the best in the future. Passed and adopted on the 13th day of December.
Thank you. There's a room full of people here to thank, and there's a community outside to thank, and I'm not going to be able to thank everybody, but I want to take a couple moments to point out some people I'm very grateful for. Before I do that, people ask, well, what are you going to do now? I'm like, I got to figure out what to wear. I don't know. I've been dressing in a uniform for 30 some odd years, so it's going to be difficult. The first person I want to start with is my wife, who joins me here, Crystal. I probably shouldn't start with her because I'll get a little emotional, but she was here with me in the beginning. She's been here with me through my entire career. And I talked her into coming up here today. So she's going to pinch me from behind if I say something stupid, so I'll try not to say anything too stupid. As I look in the room, I'm reminded of so many memories, all the way back to when I decided to run for sheriff, and Rob Brown was there, and he says, yeah, it's a good idea, and he chuckled a little bit. I go, well, what's funny about that? He knew what was going to be funny about that. Anybody that ventures into the world of politics, whether it's on a small scale, whether it's a school board, county government, city government, state politics, or whatever, you quickly learn how challenging it is. And Rob was there to encourage me and guide me through that, and I owe a lot of my success to him.
By the way, the standing ovation was for her.
I know, yeah. Rob, I'll tell you that you were very influential when at the proclamation mentions, hey, you speak your mind. I saw you do that once, I think. And it's admirable. When you're elected to a position, you represent the people. You're not an employee of the county, you represent the people. And I think it's very important that anybody gets into that, realizes that, and stays true to that. And say what's on your mind. Say what needs to be said. I want to thank my coworkers that are out there. And when I say my coworkers, I mean my fellow law enforcement partners. The 2 police chiefs and the CHP commander are back there, as well as some of my command staff and all the men and women that work in law enforcement and public safety in this community. We do this as a team. We'll joke and poke at each other a little bit, but at the end of the day, we're all interested in public safety, and we all come together. My other coworkers, the various department heads and other people that work for the county, some of you have been friends with me long before I became the sheriff. Some of you in this room have known me since I was a kid. We've been lifelong friends. But all of you have been great partners and great people to work with over the years. And I want to thank you all for everything that you do to help us all become successful. And lastly, and again, I'm sorry I'm missing some people. I can't get a hold of everybody. I'm going to try to wrap this up by 3. Lastly, my dad, who's in the back. He's been a role model for me for my entire life. He's always taught me treat people fairly, treat people respectfully. And that's served me well. And this community has treated me like a king. Thank you for allowing me the honor to serve. Bristol's got a 20-minute speech.
What'd you say?
I'm cheesing.
Oh, my speech. I actually do want to say something really quick. If you think he's a great sheriff, you should see him as a husband and a father. And we are so grateful and proud of Brian. And I think, I speak for me and our children, and that we're really excited to see him with a little less stress on his shoulders. So, congratulations. And
Here you go.
later.
Just kidding. Thank you. You don't do this.
Thank you both. You're not done yet. I believe we have Brad Honorado.
You want to share the story, Brad?
Oh, don't you worry, I will.
About the first time.
Oh, up there? So before I begin on behalf of Congressman Thompson, there's a couple of things I need to say personally. First time I ever met Brian, and no one will ever be able to top this one. He came into Mike's office and he sat down. I came over and sat down and he immediately spilled a cup of coffee all over him. It was on the desk.
I was looking for an endorsement. Brad's like, it wasn't that dramatic, but the story's way better if I do that.
That is definitely something we'll always share, Brian. And secondly, as I've told you before, I just turned 65. You are too young to retire.
Should have gone to the police academy.
And Mike did not want you to retire. But that said, he is sorry that he couldn't be here today. He's in a Ways and Means Committee hearing, or else he'd be here via Zoom. But he went to the House floor last Friday and shared with his colleagues a resolution on your behalf. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because so much of it was touched on in the Supervisors Proclamation. But I do want to read a couple of things. As sheriff, Mr. Martin provided exemplary leadership in the face of unprecedented challenges such as the COVID-19 pandemic, major flood events, and devastating wildfires in Lake County. He has testified in front of the California State Senate following the Valley Fire and made major technological advancements to the county's notification system. Additionally, Mr. Martin reclassified correctional officers to peace officers and promoted the first 2 female deputy sheriffs or sergeants in the department's history. Some of his other achievements include safety improvements to the sheriff's office building and vehicles. In addition, body-worn camera technology and the formation of the Sheriff's Foundation. In recognition of his outstanding work, I was very proud to recognize Sheriff Martin as a Public Safety Hero of the Year for Lake County in 2016. Mr. Martin is a devoted husband of 28 years to Crystal Martin and the father of 3. His children, Brian, Haley, and Matthew, have all continued their family's proud tradition of military service. Madam Speaker and colleagues, we thank Sheriff Martin for his many years of selfless service and commitment to the people of Lake County. His efforts have undoubtedly made his community a safer place to live. Therefore, it is fitting and proper that we honor him today.
Yes.
Sure, we'll take a picture later.
Well, it seems really like a lifetime ago that we sat down at the old TJ's bar and had a beer and discussed how you were going to convince Crystal to let you take this job. And I'm very thankful that whatever you did worked, because those were some dark and difficult times for the county and the sheriff's office. This was all mentioned in the resolution. I can't really add much to it, but to me, I've always respected the measure of integrity and partnership that you brought to the sheriff's office. I'm very thankful for your continued support of the city of Clear Lake through fires, various mutual aids, or bringing the crew at Traeger so that they could grow stuff on it. I know you've had a very close and trusting relationship with Chief White, and I've watched that and appreciated your support and mentorship there. So I just want to thank you for the many years of your honorable service, friendship, community involvement, and wish you and Crystal the best.
Thank you.
Chair?
Oh, sorry.
If we could just walk out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jim Steele, here's what I want to say. The entire time I was on the Board of Supervisor, the county was burning.
Yes.
We had 8 megafires, a flood and an earthquake, and if it wasn't for Brian Martin being at the helm of taking care of things, I'm telling you, we would have gone down. There was no way to do anything, and he was the guy there telling everybody what to do. It was amazing. So I just want to thank you for that, because firsthand, on the line, that's really what made it work. So thank you for that service.
Anita?
Thank you. Having worked for law enforcement for a very, very long time and with law enforcement for a very long time, Brian is just an outstanding individual, extremely dynamic and capable. And personally, Brian, I will miss you.
Go ahead, Lieutenant.
Thank you. So the rest of your command staff likes to avoid public speaking, so I guess it's going to be up to me. Personally, Brian, from I think all of us, it's been a pleasure to work for you. You set a standard within the sheriff's office that I think was needed and really appreciated. You were always there for questions or to assist any of us with our projects, mentorship, and I think you've set a bar within the sheriff's office that the rest of us can strive to achieve someday. And I think we are truly going to miss you and your leadership. I know I've learned a lot underneath you, and I'm hoping to carry that forward. And while you're out on vacation, if you remember the sheriff's office and you kind of miss us a little bit, send us one of those dad jokes. Just kind of text us a few of those dad jokes just to remind us that you're still here.
I have to compare notes with Mickey, apparently.
Chief White.
Okay, I won't repeat what was said, but I just wanted to thank you on behalf of the Clear Lake Police Department and personally for your partnership. As you know, being a leader can be very lonely, and I always appreciated that if I had an issue to discuss, a challenge that we faced, I could call you. It's been talked about the emergency management. I learned very quickly on, I think, day one here, with your calls and your support and the attitude in this county that we will overcome. It wasn't what will we do, that sort of thing, but it was make things happen. And for the community, something happened this weekend on Sunday. I got an email. A child had a birthday. They invited 25 classmates. Nobody showed up. They emailed me in the course of communications. You all know sometimes people confuse Clear Lake, Lower Lake, all these other areas. In either case, it ended up being in Lower Lake, and I was in the middle of church, and I was texting the sheriff, and this is the type of person that he is. I said, hey, I have this situation. Do you want to help out? And within like 10 minutes, I get back, there's a bicycle en route, there's a whole team en route, and not only that, but inviting our officers who had initially sort of lined up to be a part of this to come. And I think that that's a legacy that you'll leave, is our partnership, that law enforcement in this county is everybody working together. It's not the individual agencies. And I think that makes us a stronger and safer county. So thank you for your partnership, and I hope our friendship continues beyond this.
I see Todd Metcalf has his hand up on Zoom. Did you want to? Yep, there he is.
Yes, Sheriff Martin, or I guess now I can call you Brian, I guess, since you're on your way out. I just wanted to quickly say thank you for your help and support over the years, in particular in the position I currently hold. I want to wish you well in your retirement. I'm grateful, so grateful for all you have done for our community. And I also want to point out that your bravery has not gone unnoticed. So congratulations. And as was mentioned earlier, you are too young to retire, but you will be missed. And I just thank you for all your help and support over the years. Congratulations.
Brian, I'll go ahead and say something as well. I know you want to go. I just want to highlight that it's been a really good working relationship that I've had with you, not only just here, but I wanted to highlight the fact that when I became the chair of the tribe, there was a situation where we had to exchange weapons or something like that. They had to be turned in. There was a new leadership, and you came out on a Saturday and sat with me in my office and went through the police department, and that spoke volumes. We've never had a sheriff come and do that. And then to come and work with you on this side of the, the county, and then for you to come to my MACs and all my town halls and really just lay it down and give them the insight that needed to be said. And then also, just taking it in stride. I've appreciated our working relationship. And I also remember when we were neighbors, and I always enjoyed living in that area with the kids playing together and all that. So I just want to say how much I appreciate the work you've done in this county and appreciate working with you and the family, of course. So.
Brian, I have nothing but respect for you and the service that you've given to our country and our community. And I know your family, too, has also served their time. You are leaving this place better than you found it, which is what all of us strive towards, and you've accomplished that. And I think we're all very grateful for this new place that we're in with your department and the relationship with the community, too. You have been carrying a heavy load for a long time, and I wish you rest and some really good times in your retirement. And I know that you have many years to enjoy with your family, but we do appreciate for the time that you have given to our county.
Supervisor Simon? Oh, Supervisor Green?
Sheriff Martin, can't overstate what has been stated a million times here. Your service during not one, but two, but a nonstop series of catastrophic wildfires affecting our community is not just exemplary. It's an example that can't be replicated, and with any luck at all, we will never have to replicate it based on just the tremendous toll. Some of you may know I'm a recovering journalist. I've kind of seen law enforcement up and down the state in various incarnations. And sometimes when you're a journalist, that can be kind of adversarial. So I want to highlight the one thing that I cherish, absolutely treasure about you, and that has been your openness, your accessibility, your transparency. What you said is right. When you're elected, you represent the people. So sometimes you have to say things that maybe people don't want to hear or don't accept in the proper way. And as we strive to replace you, that bar is just impossible. But I want to acknowledge it now because it is so rare and precious to see that I hope other law enforcement officers tuning in or who hear about you are the model. You set the standard, and I certainly hope as this agency moves forward, we continue to remember your legacy. It's not for me to determine what that legacy is, but I can tell you honestly that that's what I treasure about your time here. Thank you.
ahead, Supervisor.
Yeah, just want to say thank you very much, Brian. It's been an honor to see you serve as a sheriff in Lake County. You're definitely going to be missed. As it said, the open communication, the constant communication with the board throughout the disaster. I just can't say, you never want to go through a disaster, but we couldn't have been better off than the person that was in the sheriff's office while we were doing that. So I want to thank you and Crystal, and I know there's a lot of folks that help also, so I'm not saying, I appreciate everybody, but today we're commending you, and I just want to say thank you very much for everything, and it's been an honor to sit here on this board while you were the sheriff. So I'm going to get up and give you a handshake and a hug, man. All right.
All right. Yes.
May I?
Yes. Yes.
So, Brian, I'm going to so miss you on Voices of Lake County. Everybody talks about his transparency, always during the fires, during an emergency, and all the times in between when you came on radio with me and answered really tough questions, not always from nice callers, but you took it in stride. And the transparency part is so important because you are on social media, and I'd say, come on, you got to come on radio too. There, people get their information lots of different ways. You were always there. I want to miss you. And we talked about maybe doing a show, like different kind of show down the road. Offers open. All right. Thank you. And,
All right.
and Crystal, good luck to both of you.
Thank you.
He's just getting his picture, and then you're, yeah. We could, I can try. I'll be like this.
He'll tell us.
Thank you. I want to make sure we have everybody here. Oh, nice. Okay, one more. Let's see if we can do that. Cool. Great, thank you. Go ahead. Oh, yes. Oh, Lord.